Welcome, everybody, to our Monday night empowerment session, where we are going to kind of start at the beginning and answer your question. Where do I start? Do I start with building or detoxing? Because that is the question that a lot of people have. They walk in right at the bat and they want to do detoxing, or they want to do weight loss, or they want to. We're going to look at that tonight and kind of address it and help guide you. But before we move forward, I want to remind everyone that if you would like to get text notifications with the link to join this Zoom live and the recording from the week before, all you need to do is text the word LEARN, L-E-A-R-N, to 1-866-256-1970. And that is a once a week text that comes out on Mondays about 6:15 Central Time. So let's jump right in here. And the question is, to cleanse or not to cleanse. And I say that because of over the years, I cannot even tell you how many people would walk in my door having just seen something new fad, like in the Women's Day magazine, or what Dr. Oz was talking about, or whatever the new catch thing was. And it often had to do with some sort of weight loss diet or a detox or cleanse. And people don't know that not always is your body set up to actually do this and do it properly. So we're going to look at that. So how do you know if yes, go for it, your body's ready? Here's some of the things you're going to want to be looking at. Maybe you just want to do it to be proactive with your health. Yes, that's a good thing to do. Cleansing can be extremely beneficial and moving out old toxins, which impact our immune health, our ability to handle stress, our mental processing, and so much more. If you have eaten or continue to eat the standard American diet, which we also call the SAD diet, in the past, if that has been a regular thing, then yes, you're a candidate for cleansing. If you've been on medications, then yes, cleansing could be beneficial to step right in. Cravings, really odd cravings, or it actually doesn't even have to be odd. It's not necessarily like pregnancy cravings, but I've seen and had some very interesting ones to include eating dirt. So all of this type of stuff tells us the body's out of balance and it's trying to address something. And I don't mean I was eating dirt. I've had clients that have come to me that were having that challenge. Concentration issues. Can you even imagine what challenges and hurdles the body has to overcome to be able to concentrate and think if there's lots of toxins in the system? And many of you have followed along with me enough to know that cleansing often addresses gut health on some level. And when the gut is not moving on a regular basis, meaning 2 to 3 times a day, then those toxins start to recirculate and it gets to be what we call stinking thinking. So that's why I say concentration issues could be a reason. Body odor. Again, if the body's got some funky odors come up, or extreme foot odor, or you're literally afraid to lift your arms up or even sweat because the smell might offend somebody, then your body's saying we could handle getting cleaned up. And another thing, preparing for pregnancy. I've had some women that have gone for a year and then they've done cleansing and then multiple other things just to prepare their body for cleansing after maybe coming off birth control or having had any of these other types of issues going on. And headaches. Headaches are another big indicator that the body is out of balance. Now, it could be having headaches because the hormones are off, because the liver's overwhelmed, because the bowel isn't moving. And actually, any of that can create acidity in the body and throw off the water balance in the system. And when that is off, it can also throw off the alignment in the neck and spine, which can create headaches. Now, obviously, there's other things that can create headaches as well. But if headaches are a normal part of your everyday life, then looking at cleansing may be something to consider. And this one is kind of the kicker. If you have time to read a novel during your bathroom visit, then something needs to be done. The bowels are not moving at a timely manner, shall we say. So cleansing becomes an option. So yes, people have seen these things, they're thinking, oh my gosh, I need to do it. But that's just the first checklist. Let's look at the second checklist, which is where I say, maybe you ought to wait and let's build instead. So what type of situations might create that thinking? This is a big one. If you've been sick, as in really sick, or failing to thrive, you just haven't been able to feel your best for a long period of time, that's an indicator where, to me, building becomes much more important. Let me give you two demonstrations here. One would be after my husband, Troy, was so sick. And many of you know that, I mean, he lost almost 30, 40 pounds in a 28-day time period. And I've got the notes somewhere. I've got it all written down. But all I know is the man could only eat literally about a half a cup of rice a day. All the rest was everything else was going in to save his life. But he couldn't. So after being that sick, the last thing the body needs to do is be put into a stressful situation. Yes, cleansing could have helped move out some of the toxins from the meds that we had to use, some of the toxins from the die-off from the bacteria that was causing all the issues. But at that point, if we were to have pushed him and cleansed him, it would have been like throwing him off the cliff. It would have required too much energy and is too much stress. His body had already been under severe stress. In that type of situation, we need to listen to the body and build first. Another situation, I had someone come in who had done, we'll just say doctor supervised detoxing and cleansing, and it was just too much. They were so unhealthy and so ridiculously out of balance. Yet when they were referred to me, that was what they came for, was to be able to get on a detox. And that was the first thing I told them was, no, we're going to build. Now, one of the neat things with when you build, in particular with the soul products, because of those adaptogens helping the body come to balance, what we find is the body grabs at this nutrition and begins to build. And then as it becomes strong enough, it starts to clean house on its own. That's when you start getting an indicator that the body's healthy enough and has the ability to do the cleaning. Here's another thing, long periods of continuous fasting or detox. That's like that second circumstance that I shared with you. The person had gone too long, just one after another. And the body needs breaks, because even something good for you pushed that hard, that's stressful on the body, it ends up having the opposite effect. And then another reason to build instead would be if you're dealing with exhaustion or mental burnout. After going through all of that with Troy, and once we got into a space where I knew that we had a little breathing room, yes, that would have been the worst time in the world for me to pick to cleanse. And I know that. What I did instead was go and intensely start building my system. Yes, my body put on weight, just like Troy's did afterwards. When your body goes through those extreme, life-threatening, stressful situations, or because it cannot differentiate between types of stress, even though it was a Hail Mary, we saved your life. Oh my gosh, everything's okay now. The body's still in that mode of, oh my gosh, is it going to happen again? And so the body starts to put the weight back on to protect itself if it has to do another Hail Mary. So when things like that, I told Troy, I said, look, it's going to be at least a year. We have to go past the anniversary date so the body knows that it's okay before we get in and do anything about cleansing. We are going to build instead. And that was why, because of what was going on there. And then also pregnant or nursing. I never, ever advocate cleansing when a person is pregnant or nursing, because the body can cast off and move things either into the milk or push them into the baby. And the body is already pouring all its nutrition into supporting that growing child. And so it needs its energy going that way. And like I said, when the body starts kicking off toxins, it's going to send it out either through your lungs or through your skin or your kidneys or your bowels, or in this case, through the milk or going into the body. or the body of the growing child. So this is where it becomes extremely beneficial to build. And when you're building, just realize too, during that type of situation with pregnant nursing, all you're going to do is strengthen that growing child's foundation that it's building at this crucial point in its life. So where do you start if you're not a candidate to detox? Well, right here at the Bella Beautiful Health, because this is a building program. It really gets in and works on those foundations. And the amount of change that I've seen in people with just this simple program has been incredible. This program right here, excellent to add into pregnancy. Now we use some other things as well, but all of these are things that are outstanding in pregnancy. This is also a great setup before someone goes into wanting to balance out their weight. Why would I say that? Why would I say jump into this first instead of going into a weight loss plan? Well, if your foundation is strong, and like I said, the body is going to be resistant to lose weight or to cleanse if it's not strong enough and not ready. If the body's put on weight, something's been out of balance. So the adaptogens that we have in these help the body find its balance. We know the Vital works amazing with stress, helping to clarify the system and the blood and so much more, along with balancing hormones to start with, because it works with the liver. I mean, it's not the only thing I use to balance hormones, but that is a foundation. The cinnamate with what it's doing for blood sugar. And so if your blood sugar is balanced, then guess what happens? Your body can naturally start to get nutrition to the brain. It can naturally start to have energy to where you move more, to maybe the weight starts to shift. The Ver designs for breaking down your food and using on an empty stomach with ProbioIQ in the evening for replenishing that gut bacteria. All these are good things for building that foundation. Now that's if you needed to build first. If you've already been building with this program, and many of you know this is the place that I like to start people, and so many of us do. You have the options. You can start with this, and then you could add in, maybe you have had some major issues with hormones or libido. So you throw in, your add-on becomes like the Soul Maca or the Excel, or maybe you've had issues with pain as well. So your add-on becomes the Soulflex PI. But that's how you build, but support the system. Now, if you've already been building, or you've been doing a very good balanced diet and have had really good health, and you're being proactive also with your health, or you've been building long enough to where the body's ready to do some cleaning of house, that the Good Track Cleanse and Whole Body Detox is outstanding for getting in and supporting that house cleaning in a balanced fashion. The Vital, we talked about the Good Vibrations, also has a blend that also helps to support the health of the gut. So not only you're helping to clean it out, but you are supporting that gut health as it goes. The Omnitox DC, it is a great formula. It's DC stands for deep clarifying. So we're grabbing things that come out of the lymphatic system. We're also got some anti-parasitic type herbs in there, but the body's strong enough to handle this. It has the energy to do it. And then the fast track to help that timely movement. Now, you can do this and continue and do your Bella Health at the same time. It's just simple modification to do it. But if if you are too tired, you're exhausted, any of those things that you checked up on the list where I said maybe you ought to build first, do not jump into the Good Track. Your body will naturally start to cleanse on its own with working with the Bella Health first. So we're going to end with this quote that's attributed to Buddha. That is, every human being is the author of his own health or disease, or we often say dis-ease. That's why I pronounced it that way. And you have this power within in your control, your grasp, whether it's drinking water, movement, doing the Bella Health program and building, or your system is built and balanced enough to which you can step right in and do cleansing. But you have the options to get in and take charge of your health and be the author of your own health destiny.